What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American Politics, back in with a new video. And today, I have a simple question to answer to you today. Are the Republicans surging on the generic ballot, on RCP, or is it something else happening? Because a lot of people on Twitter the past couple of days have been saying Republicans are surging in the generic ballot and all that stuff. Well, it's kind of a hard question to just answer in a 200 character tweet. So this is a full video dedicated to what's really going on with the generic ballot on RCP. Is it a surge? Is it something else? We don't know. So let's get into it. Now, before I forget, of course, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share it to friends, hit the little bell, and yes, of course, go follow the mysterious Twitter account in the description down below. And also join the channel. That is right, folks, for just 10 cents a day. You could join Real American Politics. Not that expensive, only 10 cents a day. Alright, click that join button down below, that big, beautiful blue button that says join, and you could join today. And alright, let's get into it, folks. This is a question I've been getting asked a lot the past couple days, or people have been mentioning about it. Are Republicans truly surging in the generic ballot? Well, yes and no, alright? It depends on your definition of surge, alright? Now, on face value, I don't consider this a surge, but when you dig deeper into the data, technically yes. So let's explain what I'm talking about. So, you've seen the recent polling, alright? Rasmussen, R+2, Emerson Tide, CBS, even CBS is saying R+1, ABC News, R+5. Compare that to the last couple of polls, Economist with a Democrat +5, Morning Consult, Democrats +5, NBC News, Tide, Fox News, Democrats +3. So, it appears Republicans have surged on paper. I mean, you'll see here, Democrats were averaging like a 3-4 point lead last week. Now this week, I should say a couple days ago, they've been averaging, a 2 to 3 point lead. So that's a surge. Not necessarily. Look, I know a lot of you understand this, but some of you don't understand that the sample sizes do matter to polls. Or I should say the samples, right? Sample sizes do matter, but how the samples are gotten, alright? For example, these polls here were all registered voter polls. Every single one of them that had a Democrat lead. Well, the past couple four, they've been likely voter screens. And, well, R+2, R+1, etc. So, what is a likely voter screen? Essentially, it's, a model that most pollsters do that, takes into account how the person answered the question, their demographics, etc. Run it through a model like, okay, this voter is likely to vote. We're going to include them in the sample, alright? But registered voter polls, they don't really do this. They're just like, are you registered to vote? That's the only thing they really ask. While likely voter screens, they ask how likely you're going to vote, past voting history. Well, sometimes past voting history, they got that in the, voter file. But point is, most of the time, likely voter screens, they screen out all these voters that, they're not likely to vote. They're more than likely not going to vote. Now, this can go two ways, right? You could screen out too many people, like, they do in Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, etc. I mean, they screen out way too many voters. That's why you sometimes can get a Biden +4, alright? That is possible if you screen out too many voters. On the flip side, though, a likely voter screen overall is more accurate to the electorate. Now, people are going to say, well, turnout's going to be so high, that means you don't need a likely voter model because everybody's voting. No. Even in 2020, the likely voter polls did significantly better than registered voter polls. It's just a fact. They did significantly better. Even with registered voter polls having, 20,000 person sample sizes, they were less accurate than likely voter polls because you're not getting the electorate. Even with high turnout, you still got to model what the electorate's going to look like. Not, well, everybody's voting. Who cares? Who cares if everybody's voting? There's still going to be people that don't vote. It's just a fact. And that's why the likely voter screens do matter, and they do show Republicans up. And we can look at this the entire election. Look at this. Basically every single poll, all right, this entire cycle, likely voter polls have been significantly more Republican favorable than registered voter polls. It's a fact. And that doesn't necessarily mean they're more accurate, all right? That doesn't instantly mean they're accurate. But likely voter polls tend to be significantly more accurate compared to registered voter polling, just for the simple fact they're more likely to get the electorate accurate. That's important. If you do not get the electorate, accurate, right, the people that are actually voting, you could get some crazy weights, or whites are going to swing 15 points Democrat or something crazy like that. So that's the key with the likely voter screens. But on the flip side, Republicans have been picking up voters in the likely voter polls, all right? Rasmussen a month ago, I should say, about a couple weeks ago, R+4, and then their next poll, R+1, then R+2. So there is some trend that maybe they went down a little bit, but started to go back up. You can look back at the August polls, R+5, R+2, R+5, R+5. So around the range, and plus these are the pollsters that, yeah. If ABC News and CBS is saying that, the Republicans have the popular vote won for the generic ballot, that's a pretty good sign. So as you can see here, you can go all the way back. Basically every likely voter poll except one the past couple months show Republicans with a generic ballot edge. The only one's Insider Advantage, but ignore this poll. 500-person sample size. Get out of here. That's inexcusable. So there are two answers to this question, right? Well, I should say three, all right? The first two is, yes, the likely voters polls, there is some indication that the polling is starting to become more Republican favorable. Like, it appears Republicans are picking up steam. Again, Rasmussen even shows this. Even, ABC News, CBS, etc., they're showing there is some movement. But on the flip side, it's not the past month that Republicans have suddenly surged. Because, well, these are registered voter polls. You shouldn't really compare registered voter polls with registered or likely voter polls. Because, yeah, registered voter polls, they're just bad. They're bad. They should only be used early in the cycle to set a baseline. Like, okay, Biden's approval rating with registered voters in May, right, was 42%. Let's compare that to likely voters and see what happens and go from there. Not, we're going to use only a registered voter poll sample. That's absurd. That is so stupid and a waste of time. So, yeah, there is technically some movement towards Republicans. Even the RCP aggregate is showing Republicans are picking it up. But another answer is, well, the summer response bias is over. I mean, Labor Day happened, and, well, Republicans have been doing better and better and better in the polls since Labor Day. All right, generally speaking, they have been doing better since Labor Day weekend. They've been picking it up. So, is it mostly because of summer response bias? We just got to see. But my final verdict is yes. Republicans have been picking up steam slowly, but they are picking it up, especially the past couple of days. We just got to see what next week looks like, because the first week of October is really when the election season really gets interesting. Anyways, folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that like button down below, subscribe, share it to friends, hit the little bell, and yes, of course, go follow that mysterious Twitter account in the description down below. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Godspeed to all of you.